Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are coming to you on a Monday night. Excited because golf lines came out nice and early. So Mikey here is going to help us get ready for the U.S. Open in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. We think I'm still checking,
Yes,
but yeah,
Pennsylvania.
Oakmont here. The U.S. Open, exciting time of year. When are you heading up for? When is your flight out there for your tea time?
Man, if only. Actually, I don't even want to play this course. I'd probably quit golf. It's so hard.
It's a tough one, huh?
Oh yeah, it's routinely known as the hardest course in golf to a lot of people.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
so with
it's
that context, how does that knowledge,
yep.
how does that play into your board as you're looking at things? Just so everyone knows where we're going to go with this, we're going to get top Mike's top finishes, and then we're going to get his favorite plays for making the cut and missing the cut. But before we get into that, kind of just curious, we can just look behind the curtain and see what you're up to, what you were cooking
Yeah.
back there.
So if you had a guess, how many players do you think were under par at this course in 2016 when they had the
Oh,
US Open here?
like percentage wise?
Yep.
Oh,
Or
my under
quantity.
the
What?
same one person. Yeah,
There
like
it,
15.
not a total of 4.
Oh, geez.
So first place was -4. Second place, there was a 3-way tie for -1. Um,
Wow.
so I mean so with the US Open, the USGA sets up the golf course. The PGA Tour has nothing to do with it. The USGA started, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, trying to make this as hard as possible. And who knows why the current trend is that maybe they're trying to make it let them feel what everyday golfers feel like, give us some
Sure.
viewership entertainment. But for this one, so the fairways at this course are roughly 25 yards wide. That's about half of what the width of the last 2 US Opens were. So the biggest thing I'm looking for in this tournament is driving accuracy. And
Yeah.
the greens at this course are known to be some of the firmest and most undulating. So we're going for putting, and then we're going for greens in regulation. So I'll
Okay.
take those 3 metrics, compare that to recent form, and then compare that to if they played in the 2016 US Open at this course, and just kind of see what trends I find in the process.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see. You'd have to like get some AI and digital stuff going, but to see like how in like the home run trackers they show you where everyone hits the home runs.
Yeah.
But with golf, like to see where they're hitting it. Like, are they hitting it in the middle of that 50 yards, or is it still like because they could have really high accuracy, but if they're just barely getting it on there, I'm sure
So
they have all
there
this.
actually is a
Of course,
stat
there is. There's
that
no way I'm thinking about this for the first time.
that the PGA Tour tracks. And under if you go to their website, you can go to your stats and it'll track all your larger categories of strokes gains. If you break down driving even further, one of them is um, distance from edge of fairway.
Love
And
that.
the closest you are to the fairway, the more you're barely in the fairway. So
Yeah,
that actually is a track that is stat, believe it or not.
like it.
Um,
I like it.
for
Well,
reference here, so Dustin Johnson won in 2016. In 2016, he hit 67% of fairways. Over the course of the season, that would be good for 6th on the entire PGA Tour this year.
oh,
So you've got to keep the ball in the short grass. I don't know if you've seen the videos. The rough is about 4 inches long, and they'll drop the ball and then you can't see it from the
it's
camera.
just
It's
yeah,
just
that's
gone.
hilarious.
So
Oh
you've
my
got to
god.
hit the fairway. If you don't hit the fairway, you've got to be good with a putter.
Yeah. All right. Quick aside before we get into your picks. You mentioned this being really difficult, so we see people kind of struggling a bit more. Do you prefer to watch as far as like a television entertainment product? Do you like watching people go like -14, or do you like these -4s, -1s to win it all?
Man, I go back and forth because it's when you see somebody like Scotty or Tiger in his day just get on a run and birdie 9 straight or whatever it may be, like that's fun. It's electric. The crowd's into it. But when you see them winning at -4, you just see a bunch of grumpy old piss dudes walking around a golf course. If I think it was 2020, something like that, when they were playing up in New York at Bethpage Black, Phil Mickelson missed his putt ran across the hole and hit the ball back to the hole while it was still moving, as if he was playing putt-putt, because he was just that done with the
It
course.
just is so done.
And so I think if like the player demeanors were still energetic and into it, I would probably enjoy the hard format better. But I go back and forth. It's nice to have a good mixture.
Yeah, I hear you there. All right. Who are some of your top finishes? I got to be honest with you, Mikey. I don't know any of your plays. So I don't know if we're doing, do you have a top overall finish or are you doing like top 5, top 10, top 20 type thing?
I'm strictly sticking in top 40 or top 30 for this one.
All right.
You get a little bit more room for error. The top 5, I mean, you've got 156 guys in the field, and the value typically just isn't there either. I mean, I think Scotty top 5 right now is like minus 190 or something like that.
Right.
So I'll start with a little parlay. We'll go Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele to both finish in the top 40. You can get that at minus 130. We'll start with Schauffele. He hasn't missed a cut this year. He currently has the longest cut streak made. It's like, I don't remember what it is, but it goes back like 3 or 4 years, but since he last missed his cut. He's finished in the top 40 in every event he's played this year. In majors, he finished 8th at the Masters and 28th at the PGA. You know, we talked a lot about needing driving accuracy. He statistically isn't good off the tee. However, if you go back to 2017, his worst finish at a US Open is 14th. So his U.S. Open history is pretty impressive. Morikawa, on the other hand, he missed one cut in the U.S. Open in 2020, but since then he's finished top 40 in every other U.S. Open he's played in. He's finished top 40 in 13 of 17 majors in his entire career. He's currently second in driving accuracy, 19th overall off the tee, and 6th in approach. So he's got the combination of the history and the stats that we're looking for there. So I really like that play a lot. It's hard to parlay 2 guys in the top 40, but that one feels, I mean, pretty safe as safe can be.
Sure. All right. What you got? What else you got for these top plays?
We'll stick in the top 40. We'll go Sam Burns. Sam Burns, he kind of started coming along with Max Homa a few years back. He had a rough start this year. He missed 3 consecutive cuts in March. Since
A rough,
then,
a rough start.
a rough start. Yeah, you
A
got
good
it.
one for golf. I like
You
it.
got it.
I dig it.
Since then, 5 top 20 finishes, including at the PGA, and then he finished second last week in Canada. He sits 60% of his fairways. Again, back to Dustin Johnson. He won with 63% at this course. So it's 60%, solid metric there. Over 305 yards driving distance. And he's currently the number 1 putter on tour. So he's sitting in a really, really good spot for that. And then my last top finish, we'll go Shane Lowry, top 30 at minus 105. Back in 2016, Shane Lowry did tie for second. That was with a +6 final round.
Oh my
Dude
God.
shoots even par on the final day and he wins. +6. I think he's out for revenge this year. He's playing great. He's got 10 top 25 finishes this season. He's hit top 30 in all but 2 events. He's not long off the tee, but again, he's at 68% of fairways. So that's right where we want it to be, with a great history, all that good fun stuff. So yeah, those are my top finishes there.
I like it. So those ones, you know, we can't cash those till Sunday, but let's get some early money lines here. These guys are going to cash for us on Friday once we know who does and does not make the cut. So who is your favorite play to make, or what is your favorite play? Because it could be a parlay. I don't know what your favorite play is to make the cut here. And also, you were telling me before we hit record, you got about 150, 160 players.
156 players.
And then 60 are going to make the cut. So
top 60 plus ties.
So we could have like 60 to 70-ish, maybe
exactly.
68, something like that. Okay. So keep that in mind as you're doing this. There's going to be a lot more people missing the cut than making the cut.
Oh yeah.
But what's your favorite play here to make the cut? Again, this one will cash on Friday for us.
Yeah. And just, dude, if you don't bet a lot of golf, betting bets the cash on Friday and Sunday is the best way to do it. You stay super intrigued the entire tournament. My favorite play of the week, we've already talked about Shane Lowry. I'm going to parlay him with Sepp Straka to make the cut at minus 101. Straka won us quite a bit of money early this season, but he's hosed us in the last 2 majors.
Oh no.
And I'm calling for a bounce back. Straka is first greens in regulation. The 2 major cuts that he missed this season, only 2 cuts he's missed all year. Prior to that, he had made 7 of his last major cuts. He's 3rd in approach, 1st in greens and regulation, 11th in driving accuracy, and 17th in putting. So combine that with everything we've already talked about with Shane Lowry at -101. I really like that play a lot. The other one I like a lot is Sam Burns. Talked a lot about him already. You can get him straight up. I think it's -165. I wanted the juice to be a little bit better, so I'm going to parlay that with John Rahm at -108. Rahm playing great. He's only missed 1 cut in a major since 2020. This year, he's been top 10 in every live event with a 14th at the Masters and 8th at the PGA Championship at 63% fairway completion. Again, that's just a great recipe there. So Burns and Rahm there at -108. And then my final play to make the cut, I'm going Matthew Fitzpatrick straight up at -135. He's a U.S. Open winner. He's only missed the cut at the U.S. Open once since 2014. Slow start to the year this year, but he's finding a stride. He finished 31st, 8th, and 23rd in his last 3. Tied for 8th at the PGA, and he made the cut at the Masters. So that, with the U.S. Open history, it's another good recipe at -135.
Love that. All right, who do you hate, Mike? Who do you hate and why?
We've got the frat boy and the fat boy parlay. These are my savage plays of the week.
Let's go.
Let's start with Mark Leishman to miss the cut at -125. Leishman, long time player, was on the tour for a long time before he moved to LIV. He hasn't played in a major since 2022. LIV stats on top of that are limited, but even at LIV, they're not playing as challenging of golf courses, and he's only hitting 54% of fairways. That'd be good for 155th on the PGA Tour right now. You combine the fact that he can't get off the tee with the fact that he has not been in major competitive form in a long time on this hard of a golf course, it's going to be very challenging to make the cut. So -125, I love that one a lot.
I do too.
We'll also go to Cameron Young to miss the cut.
Okay, this one I didn't like because this one I saw because Cameron, I don't know a ton of golf, as people probably have picked up on pretty quickly here. But Cameron Young is a dude who I've made some money on in the past. So I was surprised to see his name here.
Yeah. You want to guess what ranking he is in hitting the fairways in the PGA Tour right now?
I'm going to go with the bottom quartile.
Yes. So he's only hit 51% of fairways. You want to guess what his best approach metric is? I'll tell you, it's 159th. Only 62% of greens in regulation. And then he's 153rd in scrambling. Then he's 158th in bogey avoidance. The course
what scrambling is.
Scrambling is when you miss the green, how well do you get up and down?
Oh, okay.
How well do you save par? So with where he succeeds are long courses with really wide fairways. That's why he played well at Pinehurst last year. The fairways are 50 yards wide. This just isn't his course. That's the only, I love him. I love his golf swing. He's a fun guy to watch. This just is not the course for him to make a cut at. He's only made a cut in 2 of 5 U.S. Opens, one of those being Pinehurst last year, the other one being LA Country Club, also 50-yard wide fairways. Anything else narrow, he hasn't made it. So,
all right, good to know.
It's savage, but I love it. Last play, Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson to miss the cut, -110.
He sounds like a guy who will cut you from head to toe.
Yeah, he does.
He's a Viking right there.
I want to say he's from Denmark.
Yeah, sounds right.
So he's played in 3 PGA professional events his entire life. He did finish second at one and 22nd at other, but those are early in the year before the competition gets really good. He did qualify for the PGA Championship after finished second at Puerto Rico. He missed the cut there. This stat is loose. So this is his first ever U.S. Open. Roughly only 30% of first-time players at the U.S. Open will make the cut. So if you can find good numbers on somebody who's never played in the U.S. Open, just click and go. He is hitting 64% of fairways on the DP World Tour, but again, those fairways are 60, 70 yards wide. So this is really just his lack of experience that I'm playing against with the really hard golf course. So, but yeah, that's it.
I like it. I love to hate. So that's all. Those are all fun ones.
Yeah,
I'm pulling up. For those of you just listening on podcast, do recommend jumping over to YouTube because you can see we have pulled up the slide here with all of Mikey's picks. Before we go through them, though, just want to remind you all, we have shows coming out all the time. Some of them planned and some of them are just kind of pop-up shows. So do be subscribed to us on YouTube as well as wherever you get your podcasts so you can get all of our latest stuff. With all that being said, Michael,
Yes.
take us away.
I was going to give the show a live update on how our picks from last night did tonight.
Okay.
McDavid did miss. He finished at 2. So yours
So-
missed. One
yeah.
of mine missed, but my other 2 hit.
All right. So we're 2 and 2.
2 and 2. All right, let's run this down. So we'll start to make the cut. We're going to go Matthew Fitzpatrick straight up at -135. Then I'm going to parlay Sam Burns with John Rahm and get that at -108. And then get Sepp Straka with Shane Lowry at -101. Again, that's top 60 plus ties to make the cut. To miss the cut, we're going Savage against Mark Leishman at -125. Going against Rasmus Niergaard Peterson at -110, and going against Cameron Young at -132. And then moving over to top finishes, I'm taking Shane Lowry in the top 30, Sam Burns to finish in the top 40, and then a parlay of Xander Schauffele with Colin Morikawa in the top 40 at -130.
That's delightful. Those are all going to hit guaranteed. Thank you, Michael. And I always appreciate, just parlay them all.
Yeah.
I always appreciate how much research you put into them because it's really interesting and it gives me a nice new way to appreciate golf. With that being said,
it's a fun way to geek out on golf on a Monday.
Yeah, and gives them to watch over the weekend. With that being said, we will be back with you. I'm not sure when. We'll probably have another pop-up episode for you later this week. Otherwise, I'm not sure. We don't have anything scheduled yet, but be on the lookout.
Stanley Cup's still going on for at least 3 more games. So
and NBA as well. So there's still tons to bet on. Soccer is going to be slowing down. If you missed we've still got a few games tomorrow on Tuesday. If you missed that episode, go check it out. For Michael Smith, I'm Stefan Leco. Thank you for listening to ReadyBetAction. We'll be back with you soon.
Peace.